G'day there. When should you hire a professional copywriter when it comes to your online marketing content? Now, this is a question that we get asked a lot, and there are times when you can get away with writing your own stuff, and then there are times when it really pays to have somebody who is a professional copywriter get the writing done for you to give you the best results. Now, my name is Ben Futrell, and thanks for joining me again today for this video where we're going to cover this off. And I've got a few notes here, in fact, 7 different things to think about and to help you decide whether or not you should be hiring a copywriter or doing your own copywriting. And it's one of those things that is a bit difficult sometimes for people to wrap their head around. So my opinion is if you want to do professional marketing, you will need a professional copywriter at some stage. And the role of a copywriter is more important than ever with content-driven marketing, because more and more people are using content as a way to drive their marketing efforts and drive leads to their business. And so you want to make sure that you've got copy that is going to be well written, that's going to be read, that's going to inspire people, that's going to get people taking action, and of course turn into sales. And so when it comes to copywriting, it actually is quite an important part and aspect of your business. Now, as I go through these sort of 7 ideas, I want you to think about this not just from marketing material, like direct marketing material, but it could be things like your website, it could be your emails, it could be social media posts. It could be many things. It could be a script for an explainer video. There are certain things that you just want to, think about when it comes to writing copy. So when should you write? When should you hire a copywriter? Well, first of all, I'm going to say when writing is not for you. Having done a lot of different types of training over the years, I always say to people when they come to me, "Why do you want this training?" And for example, if you said to me, "Ben, can you teach me how to do copywriting?" and you said to me, and I said to you, why do you want to be trained? And you go, because I absolutely hate it. I would go, why would you want to learn to do something that you absolutely hate? Just because you know how to do it doesn't mean that you're going to love to do it. So if it's something you don't enjoy, or it's something that you just loathe doing and you put it off and you put it off, you're probably not going to do a good job of it no matter what. So I would suggest in that instance, go and find somebody else to write the copy for you. Now, at the very end of this, by the way, I'm going to give you a warning about hiring a copywriter and what you really do need to know. So make sure you stick around to the end for that warning, because I see so many people fail because they don't take heed. I'll come to that at the very end. The second thing that is a great indicator that you need to hire a professional copywriter is you're finding yourself slapping things together last minute. You might have said yes to an opportunity, or you might have decided that you had a content schedule that you wanted to keep up to, whether it's blog writing or email marketing, and you're finding yourself at the 11th hour slapping together your content, which means it's not going to be quality. You're not putting thought into it, and you're just putting something together to get it out there because you want to tick that box and say, I've got that off my to-do list. If that is you, then go and hire a professional copywriter to get it done for you. Give them good instructions. They will make time to do it because it's their role. That leads me to the third thing, which is if you just don't have time, or it's not worth your time. So think about your role in your business. Is your time best spent copywriting? Now, in a lot of cases, the answer is probably no. So you might feel like you're the best person. So for example, when it comes to writing blog posts, a blog article could take a couple of hours to write or longer. Is that the best use of your time, writing something that may or may not get read for a long time, especially if you have other more urgent things that need to be done in your business. So if you're not hitting your sales target, or your team aren't working cohesively, if your team culture is not good, or your systems aren't well in your business, all of those things, then you probably want to be delegating this task out to somebody else, because it's probably no point you doing it. It's not worth your time. Or the other issue is if you don't have the time. And I always say to people, you've got 2 choices when it comes to buying something in your business. One is with your time, is one way of buying it. The second way is with your money. So you've got to decide whether you want to buy that with your time or with your money. It's an investment regardless, right? So, and time is limited, money isn't. So if you're putting your time into it and you're already flat out super busy, then it might be time to hire a copywriter. My fourth reason that I would hire a professional copywriter is if it's for something really important. So for example, if it was something like SEO. So if you were, doing the copy on your website and it was really important that your website ranked well with Google search terms or with the search engines, whether it's Google, Bing, Yahoo, or whoever it is, I would suggest that you give that to a professional copywriter that is trained in SEO, and they're out there because they keep up to date with the changes. They know what works and what doesn't. They know how many of your keywords and how they should place their keywords in your articles or on your web pages. Don't try and do something that you have no idea about, because what you'll do is you're going to end up falling over and probably write copy that will take you a lot longer to write that'll be ineffective. So not only will you waste time doing the copy, you're going to waste time because the copy is not going to be as effective. And so if it's for something like SEO or important copy like that, then I would get a copywriter. The fifth reason is if it's for sales pages, ads, and marketing emails. Copywriting for marketing or for sales is completely different to copywriting a blog post. It's a different skill set, and most people, if you, let me put it this way, if you struggle a little bit with sales, with knowing how to ask the right questions, building dissatisfaction, desire, getting people interested in taking action, then there's a good chance you're going to struggle to put that into words if you're not a writer. So if it's, let's say you've got a lead magnet on your website, you want someone to download that, and then they're going to get something in response to that lead magnet that is supposed to take them on to the next stages or get them to buy your products or services or book an appointment with you. You want a copywriter to be buying that, and you might to be writing that, because that way more people will be buying that product or service. And the way to think about it is like this: it's an investment. Okay, it's an investment in your marketing. So if you're seriously setting up a set of sales pages or a sales email sequence, even a sales script, get a copywriter to write it, because you should get a return on that investment. And you might pay upwards of $500, $1,000, maybe a couple of $1,000 for a really good copywriter to write all your sales email sequence. But it should return a lot more than that long term, because once the copy is written once, it can be used forever, right? So really think about it then. The sixth reason I think it's really important for you to hire a copywriter is you've got these on. I don't know if you've seen the horses. You go to the horse races. Not that I'm a punter. They've always got these blinkers on, and those blinkers stop them from seeing everything else. It's the same thing in your business. You've got these blinkers on. It's what I call your business blinkers, or industry blinkers, and it stops you from seeing outside the square. And it means that sometimes what you write might make sense to you, but it won't make sense to the general population or the people that you're trying to attract to your business through this copywriting. So that's often a case. And there is such a thing as being too close to your business when it comes to writing copy. And a classic example is if I told you, let's say, I don't know what you do, right? But let's say you write down a task for me to get done, something that you do every day of the week in your business, and you might have been doing for the last 20 years. And I said to you, or you were delegating it to me, and I said to you, can you just write down what I need to do? And you wrote down the steps. There's a good chance you're going to miss some of the instructions and I'm going to screw up. The reason for that is because a lot of stuff is subconscious and you just do it. It's like autopilot. And the same thing happens when you write about stuff for your own business. And I think that's a real challenge. G'day, Tim. Thanks for tuning into the live, mate. Good to see you there. Hope you're enjoying this content. So I think that's a real good reason to hire a copywriter, because they come at it with what I call the helicopter view. They've got a really fresh perspective, and they're going to write things differently because they're going to ask you questions that you're probably not asking yourself about your target market, about the benefits, about the features, about what are the triggers, what is it that makes somebody buy your product or service. So all of those things are super important. Now, my seventh one is, sort of ties in with that, and that is jargon be gone. I call it jargon be gone. Industry jargon makes it really, really confusing. I was reading I got an email, in fact, just today. Well, it came in yesterday. I read it this morning because I read my emails twice a day. So it arrived in my inbox yesterday morning. This morning I looked at it, and it was pitching somebody to be on my podcast, and or one of the podcasts that I host. And it had this M&A all the way through it, M and A, M and symbol, A, M, and it didn't explain anywhere what M and A meant. Now, I'm sure that you could probably have a guess, and it would depend on the context, but if you don't know what M and A is, and that is what you're pitching, this guy is an expert in M and A, What does that mean? Well, it means mergers and acquisitions in his particular case. But it wasn't clear. I had to actually think about what is this guy? What does he do? It was not clear. So, for him, if he had a copywriter, I'm sure the copywriter would have put a headline at the top, said, if you want someone on your podcast that's an expert in mergers and acquisitions, keep reading, or something like that, because that would have made it much clearer. So jargon be gone. Your jargon, abbreviations, acronyms, they are great for you, not great for marketing. Okay, they will confuse people. Now, I promised you I'd also give you a warning that you need to heed. One of the things that happens in our business, in our digital marketing business, is that we do a lot of copywriting for people. And in particular, most of the copywriting that we do would be on web pages or blog articles, okay? And the reason why we would do that is because it's not a good investment of your time to sit down and write, 6 to 1,200 word blog articles for your website. Now, most of these articles are not really written for any other purpose except for SEO, or what's called search engine optimization. And the idea is what we're doing is we're trying to get the website to rank better with search engines when someone does an organic search. Now, if someone reads that article, great, but it's not what it's for. It really is about making sure that it ranks well in Google, because no one's going to get there to read the article if it doesn't rank well. So these articles usually don't sound like they're written by you. And this is a common complaint we get by our clients, because they sometimes forget the purpose behind the article. And we have to remind them that we're not ghostwriters. We're copywriters. If you want a ghostwriter, you're going to pay a lot more for a ghostwriter. Now, a ghostwriter writes as if they are you. Okay, so they'll write in your style. They'll write as if they are you, but they are much more expensive to hire. If you can imagine hiring a stunt double, that's what you're hiring when you hire a ghost writer. When you hire a copywriter, you're no longer getting a stunt double. You're just hiring an extra for your movie, okay? And that's the way to think about it. So they're not going to write like you do. They're not going to write award-winning novels. That's just not what they do. What they're going to do is they're going to write based on the project that they've been given. So they're going to write stuff that is really good for SEO, or they're going to write stuff that's really good for conversions, or they're going to write stuff that is going to compel people to take the next step, whatever it might be, but they're not going to write like they are you. So when you hire a copywriter, do not get upset when they don't write like you. Okay, I just want to give you that warning, because this is a very common problem, and I think it's something that you just need to know about. All right, so there's my 7 questions you could ask yourself. So let's just quickly go through my notes here. This is why you would hire a copywriter. Writing's not for you. That's my number 1 reason. You just don't like it. 2, you're always slapping together content last minute. If you're doing that, you're obviously, you're not making time for it, and you're never going to do a great job. Which leads me to the 3rd one. You don't have time, or your time's more valuable spent on other things. When it's for something important like SEO, search engine optimization, give it to a copywriter. Or if it's for sales pages, ads, or marketing material, or emails, give it to a copywriter. Unless you're a great copywriter, right? Like, I enjoy copywriting, so I do a lot of my own. Or if you have the industry blinkers on, or you're using a lot of jargon, that's also going to be a good reason to find somebody else to do it. So there you have it. So there's 7 questions you should be asking yourself, and helping you make the decision around whether or not you should be doing your own copywriting. Now, I want to finish up by saying thanks so much for being part of this, watching the video, but also for being part of the Digital Marketing Success Network group. Now, if you're watching this on YouTube or somewhere else, and you're not inside our Facebook group, then please come along and join the group. It's the Digital Marketing Success Network group. It is easy to find on Facebook, and just answer a couple of questions. And as long as you answer those satisfactorily, we will let you in. We only refuse the odd few who don't answer our questions or look very spammy. So if you're genuine and you want to be part of a group that's doing amazing things and learning about digital marketing, then that's the best way to come and join us. Alrighty, that's it from me for this week. Thank you so much for joining me for this video. And until next time, I hope you go and generate lots of leads online. May your copywriting be compelling.